Peace, peace, beautiful beings, and welcome back to my channel. I am Coach V. In today's video, we are doing a mental health observation. So, as a holistic practitioner, I offer in these videos my perspective on trending news topics. Today, we're going to be discussing briefly Sky from Black Ink Crew. Now, I'm sure you're all are up to speed on how Sky has attempted to form a relationship with her estranged children and how it quickly went left, and more recently, the horrible things that she said to her son, even as far as wishing he was not here with us. Just horrible, horrible. Broke the baby down. So I just want to sit here in a moment of transparency and say, although I did not share anything that harsh to my children before I became conscious and loved myself and healed my family, it really hit a nerve to see the reports on the conversation Sky had to her child. The venom that she spat, the words, and apparently it felt like she said what she said and she meant what she said. So again, I was not always the conscious, enlightened, peace and love being and mom that I am today. I came from an abusive household. I attracted abusive men to me. So I had a lot of years of trauma and self-hate and brokenness before I became a parent. So when I became a parent, even though I wanted to be the best version of myself as a woman and a mom, I had so much unresolved trauma and brokenness and negativity inside of me that it prevented me from being the best version of a mom that I could be. So again, even though I did not say anything that harsh to my children, I spent many years being a very harsh, unloving, abusive parent because that's how I was raised. That's what I was around. That's what I attracted to me as an adult. So essentially, that was all I knew. With that being said, I feel from my lived experience, as well as me being an active holistic practitioner and holistic mental health and healing coach, I feel that I have some skin in the game to comment on Sky's behavior. Keeping those things in mind, anybody can tell that Sky herself is broken. She has been abused. She hasn't been protected. And quite frankly, there's a lack of self-love there. And I say that because once you step into yourself and begin soul healing and you begin to truly love yourself, so it's beyond the physical, but you truly begin to love yourself and everything that you are, you don't have a desire to hurt other people, especially your own offspring. You don't desire to hurt them verbally, mentally, emotionally, financially, or physically. And again, I'm speaking from experience. You don't have a desire to be mean and to be hateful and to be spiteful. Once you really step into yourself and begin to do your own healing and soul work and being genuine with yourself and calling BS on the words and behaviors and thoughts that you have that no longer serve you or your family. Like all that energy and all that venom that she had towards her baby, if she was in a space of healing, she would approach herself with that same energy, call herself on her BS, and begin to fix it. In my case, I was in pretty much isolation for 9 months, reading, studying, crying, looking myself in the mirror, forgiving myself, forgiving others. And when I was whole, I became the best version of me that I could be as a woman, which in turn brought out the best version of me as a parent. So for the past 8 years, my family and I have been on a trajectory of healing, enlightenment, consciousness, peace, and forgiveness. We have worked so hard as a unit to rebuild our love and our trust in one another, and that was a lot of tears, a lot of anger, a lot of forgiveness, a lot of self-accountability. So when I look at Sky and her behavior and how quick she can go from 0 to 100 towards her son, and how she can choose not to be self-accountable, how she can choose to continue to play the victim, how she can choose to just say some horrible, horrible things out of her mouth, all the physical augmentation she's done to herself. It's clear to see that there's a lack of self-love, that she was not protected, and she still feels that way in her mind. It's often said that people don't have a choice to grow physically. You know, your birthday comes every year, so you get a year older, your hair turns gray, things start to sag, the wrinkles pop up. That's something that's out of your control. But when people have experienced repeated trauma without addressing it and healing it properly and genuinely, they stop growing mentally and emotionally and spiritually. They stop at whatever age that trauma happened. So let's say if someone is 35 years old today, but they experience trauma after trauma after trauma, and the final straw was at the age of 13, they physically grew into 35, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, they're still that 13-year-old who had that final straw as far as trauma that they experienced. I believe from my observation, that's what's going on with Sky. She physically got older. She couldn't control that. But mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, her growth was stunted. And until she begins to take accountability for herself, for her actions, and forgive herself first, she will not be able to forgive the people who hurt her. She will not be able to, if necessary, hold them accountable for what they've done to her. She won't be able to let it go. She won't be able to heal. And in turn, she won't be able to properly apologize and love on her children. I recently wrote a book that's available on Amazon entitled Renew Your Mind, Take Charge of Your Mental Health, 8 Alternative Ways to Improve Your Quality of Life. In the very first chapter of my book, I talk about forgiving yourself. And the chapter is actually called Learn to Forgive Yourself for Being Duped. And that chapter is all about how we've been brainwashed at an early age to no longer believe in our natural gifts, to no longer believe in our future possibilities, our present abilities, to no longer believe that we're worthy of love and protection, to no longer believe that we're intelligent beings, divinely made. Someone poured those things into us at an early age, and we believed them. And so we've carried those ideas and those thoughts about ourselves into adulthood. And because we're constantly thinking that, we attract people into our space that treat us in a manner to support those harmful thoughts we have about ourselves. At some point in Sky's life, that's what happened to her. And so she began to engage in activities and relationships that supported those thoughts that she believed about herself. So when she became a parent at a very young age, the things that surrounded those circumstances continuously fed the harmful thoughts that were instilled inside of her at an early age. So chapter 1 of my book starts off with teaching us how to forgive ourselves for being duped, how to forgive ourselves from being bamboozled and hoodwinked into believing that we're less than, that we're not worthy, that people will never love us, that people will never care for us. That's the first step in moving out of victimhood and to take our power back and to take charge of our mental health. I'm sharing my book in this video because if Sky ever sees this, or if Sky's people sees this, shows this to her, I would be happy to gift you several copies of my book and to sit with you one-on-one and however many coaching sessions are needed to work through this book, to help you begin to forgive yourself, to forgive others, to renew your mind, to surround yourself with better people that's going to call you out on your BS, so that you can take the time to heal yourself, forgive yourself, and then reopen that door to be in your children's life and give them the love and support and comfort and ask their forgiveness, because that's needed. So I know this was a little bit longer than my other mental health observations, but as I mentioned, you know, Sky's current situation really, really touched my heart because I see a lot of the old me in the present version of her. And because of my own story and testimony of growth and change and forgiveness and consciousness, you can't tell me no one else, if they're not ready to do the work, can't grow and evolve and change into a better person. So I wanted to get all that out, so that's why this video is a little bit longer than my other mental health observations. So I hope you saw some value in this video. I hope that you feel free to leave your comments below and we can have a conversation about my observations, and you can share yours as well. And if you're so inclined, give this video a thumbs up so I can know that you guys appreciate this type of content and that I will continue to do videos like this on my channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and make sure that you click the notification bell so that you're informed ASAP when I upload new content. The general foundation of my channel is alternative and holistic mental health and healing techniques, mental health hacks that I still use to this day to stay in charge of my own mental health, and of course I talk about angel numbers. If you have any questions about any of the information that I mentioned in particular, leave that in the comments below and I'll be happy to make a video just for you. So again, I am Coach V. My signature message is that mental health is sexy, and I need your help to share my signature message worldwide. Be blessed.